Good morning, good afternoon. I'm ShiSh. I'm the global lead for retail within Microsoft for Startups. Welcome to another session with Microsoft for Startups, where we highlight interesting topics as well as startups that are connected with that topic. Over the last few months, we have been running the Startup Showcase series, where we've been inviting startups to present around a specific theme. So we've had themes that covered everything from grocery to e-commerce and so on. And today what we decided to do is a slight change in format, and we're going to be doing a panel discussion instead. So the metaverse is a topic that is highly debated. At the same time, it is inevitable at some point. And there is many capabilities available today that retailers and brands can adopt. So what we did is we invited a couple of startups, and I'm going to be introducing to you to have a panel discussion about the metaverse. Is this something retailers and brands should be pursuing? And also, what are the steps to take? What are the capabilities that they can adopt now? So these are some of the things that we're going to be discussing. So to begin with, a quick introduction to myself. I've been in the startups team for about 2 years, but I've been in Microsoft for 25. I've been working with retail within Microsoft for close to about 20 years. That's given me the opportunity to work with some of the leading brands and retailers around the world, really understand some of the huge pain points and how technology and capabilities can help solve those business problems. For the agenda, we're probably going to be, initially, I'll talk a little bit about what Microsoft for Startups does and how you can collaborate with us, and then we're going to go straight into the panel discussion. So Microsoft for Startups is created essentially to enable startups to scale. And today, startups can join the program. There's very little barrier for entry, so you can go to startups.microsoft.com and avail of a lot of benefits that help scale startups. But within the startup program itself, what we do is we pick some of the later stage startups and engage with them. And what we see today are some of the curated startups. So the program has got two elements to it. On one side, you have the startups that are at a later stage. We look at what are the trends that retailers are looking at the moment. What are the areas that retailers are dipping into, the startup pool, emerging areas. So we identify them and recruit startups into those categories. And at the same time, on the right side, what you see is retailers. So we work with retailers as well. And I generally engage with retailers on a couple of levels. One is to understand what areas are retailers looking for startups, and we recruit in that area and enable retailers to find curated, validated startups that are enterprise ready. We also enable enterprises or retailers to really understand what are the trends out there based on the signals we're getting from our conversations with retailers around the world. So there is a lot of communication that's happening with retailers as well as startups. We help connect retailers with startup founders and make that discovery process for retailers a lot easier as well. So if you're a retailer in the audience, we actually welcome you to join the program. I'll talk about how you can join it. But a high level, before I do that, what are the current areas that we are looking at for innovation? There is the intelligent store area, the unified commerce, supply chain, the metaverse and e-commerce area. So these are areas that we are currently focused on. And what I have on the screen is some of the startups that we have categorized into these areas. And if you are a retailer and you'd like to collaborate with us, finding the right startups for areas that you're looking for, there is a QR code on the screen as well as a URL. So you're welcome to join us and become part of that process of engaging with validated startups. With that, I'll talk a little bit about our perspective on the metaverse and e-commerce before jumping into the panel discussion itself. So the metaverse itself has been gaining a lot of, I would say, hype and a lot of investments, a lot of focus. Many of the brands have jumped into it. As you can see from some of the quotes in here, there is a lot of expectation. And many of the experiments that brands have done has been successful. At the same time, there's a lot of questions. Are we really ready? Are the capabilities quite there? And the answer is there is a lot of things that's being done, and it is not really ready. And in fact, there is multiple metaverse platforms, and the interoperability is a question. That's something that's been worked on by the Metaverse Standards Forum. There is the compute capabilities that are still being worked on. So there's many capabilities that are not quite there, but the other aspect of it is we are seeing that there will be at some point the journey that we're on will get us to the next level of the internet. So the metaverse really is it about just virtual? Is it about the physical world and augmented reality? And I feel it is really a combination of both. It is a combination of the physical world and digital worlds coming together. It's not necessarily about putting on virtual wearables, then being in a completely virtual world, but it's really overlaying digital assets onto the physical world and really having the combination of both capabilities. And the reason why I think that the metaverse will eventually happen is because the journey we're on, where we kind of went from the physical computer really converting everything to digital, the internet becoming a reality where we could start looking for information, finding information on the internet, the Web 2.0 really enabling all of us to create content on the internet, the mobile revolution really enabling us to use the internet not just behind the desk, but also anywhere, and then moving into Web 3 and the metaverse, where we're kind of taking that 2D experience on the internet to a more immersive. So we are going to a more immersive capability with what's coming. So the metaverse, or whatever we want to call it, will happen. The immersive internet will happen. And what we're really looking at is what are the capabilities that is available today that we can use to make that happen. So one of the little videos that was created, I would say, a couple of years ago. This was in 2016. It was a crowdsourced project. Kind of showed an experience in shopping where it was primarily augmented reality. So this is one aspect of the metaverse that will happen. And there are many capabilities in here that is available today. There's a lot of these things that will make it real. And the metaverse today has got multiple subcomponents. So we've got things like digital humans, generative AI. We're seeing all of these happen. Spatial computing, digital twins is a big element. Web3 blockchains, creating 3D assets, chatbots, virtual worlds, digital payments, NFTs, and edge computing, and so on. So there's multiple components that will be part of what that metaverse experience will be, or the e-commerce experience will be. One of the things that we actually suggest to brands is to start adopting these capabilities today. Move from a e-commerce world to an i-commerce world. Move from Web 2 to Web 3. And some of the logical things to do would be to convert your assets, your product catalog, to 3D. Create your chatbots to digital humans, start using NFT capabilities for marketing, and so on. So there's a path that can be devised based on capabilities available today. And this would be a way in which you can do incremental advances to where the metaverse will be. And this will enable you to engage with some of the capabilities, engage with some of the capabilities that are mature today. And at some point, you're close to where the metaverse capabilities are, and when the metaverse is ubiquitous. So with that, I'd like to actually talk about the panel today. So we're fortunate to have Linda Pimensofer, who's going to be the panel moderator for us. She's a senior retail executive for Western Europe. I've known Linda for many years. She's based out of Sweden and works with all of the retailers, fashion brands around the world, and has been an absolute thought leader in the area. So welcome, Linda. And also, we've got the panel. The panel is actually an amazing panel comprising of Max, who's the co-founder and CRO of Zblocks. We've got Orlando, CEO and founder of Fashbo, and Michael Jung, who's the business development and strategy lead at DeepBrain. These are companies that are part of the Microsoft for Startups program, and they're focused on e-commerce and metaverse. And I'd like each of them to actually dispute what I said and also bring in their perspectives. And Linda is going to lead the conversation. Over to you, Linda.
Thank you so much, ShiSh. As a female tech nerd and a passion for fashion, I really have loved the opportunities that immersive commerce and Metaverse for fashion brings to the table. And I have looked forward to this discussion all week. So today we will not only talk about the future, we will also talk about what we can do as of today. And I really love that perspective. So welcome to this perfect panel. And I want to ask you to start with introducing yourself and the offer to the market. And Max, let's start with you.
You're on mute, Max.
Thanks, Linda. Yes, hi, I'm Max. I'm one of the co-founder at Zblocks. So Zblocks is the easy button for Web3. What it means is that we have created a platform for brands and enterprise to build innovative Web3 use cases very easily and quickly without the complexity of blockchain and without the need for crypto. So, for example, you could create and distribute NFT or digital assets for multiple metaverses in a few clicks. You could create a digital twin of a physical product and offer exclusive experience in the phygital world, including the metaverse. You could implement a Web3 loyalty program. So these are a few examples that the platform can enable.
Thank you, Max. And Orlando.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, ShiSh, for your invitation. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of Fashbo. We want to be the most powerful generative AI for fashion, where we want to create very realistic images that can pass for real. So we turned public very recently that we achieved that state of the art. And our goal is, since the demand for the social media now with the metaverse is so huge that we'll not have enough manpower to fulfill all these demand. We believe that only AI can help the brands in the industry to bring these superpowers for the industry. So that is our main goal.
Thank you, Orlando. And Michael.
My name is Michael, DeepBrain AI. We are really well known as making a digital twin of a real person, but now we have expanded and improved our technology to make a 3D characters, and also we can build for Metaverse platform as well. It means that we can fully deliver with the avatar with the Metaverse platform background. And I'm really excited to talk about today's discussion topic about e-commerce, because nowadays we always shopping online, and think about it 10 years ago and from now. Without e-commerce, our life's going to be more miserable, but now it's going to be talking about e-commerce, and e-commerce who started more faster. It means going to be more easier to get to the next level of the market. And so exciting that Microsoft bringing out this topic. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm also so excited because we have seen that within the, Corona phase, we saw that we were forced into the digital world, but the digital world are so lacking a lot of that interactivity and the nice experience that we have in the physical world, and that's why I really love this topic. So you heard ShiSh's point of view here in the beginning about Metaverse not being there So can you just give your thoughts about that? Michael, maybe we can start with you again.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I'm also living in Korea, and Asia is the most fastest to adopting new technology. But I think now, like people getting a little bit bored shopping in just the online platform or social media from Instagram and Facebook. Our consumer always wanted to have something new thing, and I think that is going to be next is e-commerce. And nowadays the technology have been developed more advanced, like Web3 with blockchain, and easily to digitizing the client the digitized asset. So it's going to be more faster. And those e-commerce for me, after 2 years, like nowadays, from after 2 years, I think that it's going to be game change now. And it's going to be really happen really soon, in my personal opinion.
I can
I hope
add,
so.
Linda, if you allow me.
Yeah.
I truly believe also that we will not have only one metaverse. We already starting get a lot of metaverse on the gaming industry that comes now for other areas. And my vision on that is that we'll have different metaverse where can have different personas, different styles, and that will drive completely and will change completely the way that we can see the world in the metaverse worlds. So if it makes sense for all of you.
Yes.
Yeah, and Max, then we need your
Yeah.
solution to see
Yes.
to glue this
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. So what I see in the metaverse is that we're seeing that we're still in early stages, but there's a lot of traction. And what we're seeing is that there are multiple metaverses, and as ShiSh was mentioning, these are metaverses that are fragmented. They operate with different rules, different users, they have different economic systems, and it's challenging to navigate and participate in those metaverse, right? Fortunately, there are initiatives that aims at providing interconnection between the metaverse. So I will mention the Open Metaverse Interoperability Group that is working on this. And we can already see that beyond e-commerce, if you look at the gaming, the metaverse is already there. When you see you have 125 million people playing at Minecraft, 200 million on Roblox, on 300 plus million on Fortnite. So this is a massive opportunity to target Gen Z and millennials that are spending hours in those metaverses.
Yeah.
And this is going to expand beyond gaming, right? So starting with gaming, but we're going to see this going into e-commerce. We're starting nascent Web3 metaverse. So as a Web3 company, we're also very excited about the Web3 metaverse because it's going to provide decentralization, making sure that no one controls that metaverse and it won't shut down anytime. And also, very importantly, ensuring the digital ownerships of these assets in this Web3 metaverse is going to be very important. So this is coming. There's a lot of excitement, all the new business model that can be created with the digital twin of product, with the NFTs, being able to work with creators. So there's a lot going on right now, a lot of innovation. So very exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting times. So if we come back to this, the wordings of metaverse and Web3. So what is the differences, the big differences in your mind?
Yeah,
Max,
I think
continue.
Yeah, I would see that Web3 is a subset of metaverse, right? Not every metaverse is Web3 based. In fact, if you look at the most popular metaverse today, the gaming metaverse, they are like centralized, right? But I think that Web3 is going to bring.
You have
Max,
the
you're
mute.
muted.
Yes, I was saying that Web3 is going to bring a new dimension to metaverses, right? Not the most popular Web2, but the decentralization is very important because it will make sure that there's no censorship or control of a single entity of those metaverses. Number two, you will be able to own with Web3, you're able to own and control your data. You're able to own your virtual land in the metaverse. You're going to be own your digital assets. right? So your digital product or your digital in-game asset. So that's like very important. That's something that was not possible before Web3. And there's a whole new economy that is happening around the ownerships of these digital assets in terms of digital asset and cryptocurrency, right? So it's creating new opportunity for revenue streams for brands who can sell these digital assets, who can let them, who could transfer them. So there's a whole new innovation that can happen because blockchain is providing the digital ownerships and scarcity of digital assets.
Thank you. Really good answer. Do someone have something more to add?
I don't know if we will have in the future a centralized metaverse. I think that we'll have different forces to push from different angles. But as a content generator that we want to be to create the content, I truly believe, for instance, if we can create and generate content for one metaverse that can associate with that digital asset with the NFT that is associated with a wallet that can then transfer for other wallets. I believe that can be through that way. I don't believe that we can have connections between metaverse, but through that assets, I think that I'm more aligned with Max's view. But I think, or maybe it's what Max tried to say on their sentence, right, Max?
Yes, as adding to that, so I think there's a lot of effort happening right now on ensuring that these digital assets can be moved across different metaverses. So every metaverse is an island. Some of them works on different blockchains. So there are tools and innovation happening right now so that you can move these digital assets with you across different games, different metaverse. So in ensuring cross compatibility. Yeah.
Right. That agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Yes. Michael?
For me, I don't think for now it's the Web3 and the Metaverse have really straight different colors, but in the end, I think it's going to be combined. For example, like nowadays the luxury brand, they also looking at a digital asset. They want to sell the real asset to digitizing it, and they make that digital asset to sell it. Why is that? It's because those consumer cannot buy those high expensive goods. They want to sell in digital asset. At the same time, when that combining with Web3 with the metaverse, those people who can't go to the flagship store, they can go to the metaverse and they can have the experience that offline to online, and they can sell it two products. One is digital asset and one the real asset. The real asset, like the same thing you experience the online platform. And I think it's gonna be so in the end, maybe in 2 years after, I think Web3 and metaverse can be combined together.
Yeah, that would be a good customer experience. So if we look at this idea of incremental deployments of parts, so like getting you ready into the future of metaverse. So what do you think about that? How does it enable the brands? Michael, start.
Well, 2 years ago, the Korea company already started the Metaverse, and the reason why they want to start the Metaverse challenge is because how they can make the offline experience to online. That the busy person, the busy user shoppers, they can't come to the offline store and want to make the same experience to online. Who do that? Like for example, Samsung Electronics. Every time they make a new products and they want to promote and expose their product more fastly. But the busy person, they cannot go to offline store. They want to make the metaverse platform and make them user to experience the same thing what they can experience in offline. So in the brand is inside, the metaverse is going to be inevitable that have to be investment because we have seen the trend that changes. Like think about it, like 10 years before and 10 years from now, even from myself, I spending more consuming or purchasing products through Amazon because my time is more valuable. And those retailers want to think about how they can experience enhancing more experience, customer experience to other platform. And I think that's going to be metaverse.
Orlando.
And adding what Michael say, I think what Michael is doing, Max is doing, and our in Freshwell are doing with generative AI is small steps for the full metaverse, because I believe that we need the immerse of the communication that Michael is doing with DeepBrain. We need the certification of the assets as ZBlocks are doing, and we need a lot of content and assets that we are trying to bring, so that and was what was ShiSh was showing is step by step. So it's almost impossible to jump immediately. Oh, we have here a huge opportunity, a new business model. Let's right now create our roles for the metaverse. Here we have a great channel to sell. That have a huge problem because you don't have the demand for that. So we need to create the market, and that is step by step that the brands and the companies can do, is starting having the digital assets, the NFTs, create content, have more support from avatars. So that are small steps that I believe that will bring a huge value for the future. That is a market that everyone wants to build. That is the metaverse.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah,
And
I don't think
and
it's small steps. I think you are building big blocks here, and you create so much value. And Max,
yes.
you have a platform, so you can bring a lot of value already.
Yeah. So I think there's definitely a lot of values and benefits that a brands entering the metaverse can get, right? So we can think about the brand awareness, right? It's a fantastic opportunity to have your virtual presence there and to engage with new audience, especially I'm thinking of the Gen Z, in a more immersive and interactive way. These are customers that spend hours there, so you have an opportunity as a brand to engage with them. You can also have a different type of engagement because the experience in the metaverse can be more interactive than your traditional marketing channel. So this is an opportunity for you as a brand to create more memorable experience and to build brand loyalty because you create different experiences. We're also seeing brands very interested in using that for product launches, right? So you could create your collection with the fashionable, for example, right? And then you can test the market in advance, see how are people reacting to your digital product. Does it make sense to launch the physical collection? Or maybe I can sell my product in the digital space before I launch my physical product. So there's a lot of interesting things you can do from customer engagement, right? Instead of going directly to the stores, I can have a virtual storefront, I could have a chatbot, I can have an automation to answer to customer questions. So there's, it's very interesting from a customer engagement perspective. And then I think that something that brands should not miss on is on the opportunity to get very interesting data from customers that are in the metaverse, right? So, and I'm talking about data that we can collect ethically, but on their behavior, their preference, their interaction, the way they interact with your product in the digital space. So all this is in a very interesting information that you can feed into your marketing strategy, into your product strategy. So a lot of exciting opportunity for brands to go and play there. So
Yeah. I really love the points there because it's both from how to show up in new ways and be innovative and meet your customer in new places and new ways, but also this collecting the data, and it's like it's a sustainability angle to it actually, because if you first test the market and then you produce only the products that the audience want, you will also be more sustainable and cost efficient, of course, with the resources. So it's a lot of opportunities here. And you were also into this new ways of speaking and meeting the customers. So Michael, in your when you have this ability to create digital humans, it's both from you can create a more interactive chat and meet the customer in new ways, but you can also create videos with your digital human models, and you don't have to, spend a lot of money of these travels and the video shootings and stuff. So please tell us about that.
Yeah. So like a little bit relating with the metaverse with the digital human. If there's the metaverse background, if there's no one that can be a person can engaging with the customer, that cannot be say the full service. For example, we doing the webinar. If there's no anyone moderator to handling all these sessions, it's not going to be completely a good webinar content. The same thing like that. And then yes, every company have their own knowledge base. They have developed their chatbot because chatbot have been already showed in the market 6 years ago, and they want to enhance another next level. What's going to be our next level to upgrading our engaging service? And they thinking that's good. The front end, the avatar can be do it too. So with the B2B client like who need for the avatar, we definitely want to support. We can do one way making an information video like a marketing video. At the same time, we can make our clients to engaging their user with our AI avatar.
Thank you.
Can I,
And
Linda,
yeah,
can
and
I have here
yes,
a very interesting vision that we are talking a lot of metaverse, but here I see an angle of complete immersive on the real store. You can imagine that you have the DeepBrain avatars being a personal stylist that can help you and
yeah,
understand because you know what is your style and you can propose new styles for the customer using generative AI or not. Here is not the point. And push the angle that you can buy a physical item that have also NFT. That we made a very interesting proof of concept of that, and it's very interesting that you can buy online or in the physical, but you have the NFT as well, so that then you can download the digital asset. So that can be complete immersive and put together all the dots on the digital and the physical world.
yeah. I just love the thinking of digital first, and when you want the physical one, you can order it as a physical copy. The opposite of what we have been talking about before. And Orlando, back to you, because now when everyone needs to be so quick, and we have in the fashion, we have Shein or Shein or whatever, how we call them, that is so quick. It's really important for every brand to use data to be more, on trend. So, and I love what you are bringing to that space. So please enlighten us more about your solution.
Yeah, we want to use the generative AI to bring these superpowers. For instance, like you mentioned, Shane, they have this that capability to create 10,000 10,000 new products per day. So that is huge, and that we can make very quickly in less than 5 minutes. So you can imagine the superpowers that we can bring to the brands and for the industry through generative AI, because as I said at the beginning, we don't have the manpower enough to fulfill all the demand. So it's impossible to. I have a brand and I have one style. I create one style for you, one style to Max, another to Michael, another to ShiSh. So you need to have a huge manpower working for you only for that. And through our technology, we can test, show products to you. You can start having your digital wardrobe, and only then if it makes sense and you want to buy, we can produce on demand. So all of that can change completely the status of quo in the fashion industry, and that is what we are working on, because we truly believe that in the future you can avoid to produce. And right now the industry is poor guessing, so they are guessing what can be a trend in 1 year or 1.5 years. So and you know that the trends are changing weekly because the influencers, they have huge power right now, and we believe that only AI can help on that journey.
Yeah. Back to the sustainability topic, and also winning against this China data-driven big giant that is now really bigger than Inditex and H&M together. So in 3 years, so that is how how much data and AI can bring. So if now we have been talking about the value that this brings, so what is the, you know, what is the risk for brands not going into this space, you say? Max, do you want to start?
Yes. So I think the risk for brand not going into in that space is basically not having brand exposure in the metaverse, right? Where you have this younger and tech-savvy audience, you have millions of people that are already there. So you're basically missing on this category of the population that is spending a significant time there. So limited brand exposure. The second one is you are not innovating, because this is an opportunity for you to innovate, to try new business models, leveraging Web3. And if you don't do that, I mean, others are going to create new business models and outpace you, right? And then the third one, as was mentioning, is there is a lot of data that you can collect from this interaction in the metaverse to get to know your customers, their product preference, what product to launch, and so on. If you're not there, again, you're not able to make informed decision for your business and improve your product and marketing strategy. So I think you need to participate, because there's opportunity for growth, there's opportunity for innovation and customer engagement there. So that should not be missed on.
Thank you. Someone else, Orlando? No? Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I will say this, like, let's think about like 20 years ago, like Walmart was one of the king of retail. Like anything what you want to get thing, everywhere you go to Walmart, there's a product there. But nowadays, we shopping more in Amazon. And I believe in the future, who started for more for Metaverse is going to be game changer. For example, I will say one more thing. Let's say we have a physical store 100 and globally, and there's a limitations they can reach out to their offline customers. But when they making online one customer, they can sell globally, even they have only one website, only one website. But if in the next one, let's think about it. Why like they want like globally brand, like especially luxury brand, they're really more into the metaverse. Why? Because they know the metaverse is going to be really fun experience to the Gen Z generations. So go back to the questions. What's going to be the affected? Who's going to be adopting more faster the metaverse? Let's think about it 10 years ago. What was our consuming behavior? 10 years ago, I did more shopping offline, but nowadays I shop more online for me. But after 5 years, I think if there's much more fun experience, rather than just going to online, the e-commerce than the i-commerce, I definitely will spend more time and buy my stuff in i-commerce. I think that will give me the answer.
Yeah.
And sorry, Linda, I was in mute and I could not reply to you. And I believe that here we can see the small brands and companies move faster. So I believe that will be early adapters because as far I could see, the big brands are very, very slow, and now with a lot of constraints about the economy. So they will have some fears to move, and they can lose a lot of opportunities if they don't move faster. Because I'm seeing a lot of influencers that they are creating brands, they are creating worlds. Some bands they are making some concerts on the metaverse. So I think that brands, let's say they can be brands or bands or the sports players can create its own brand and roles that can change completely the paradigm that we are used to see.
Yeah. Thank you. And Max, did you want to add?
Yes, I wanted to add that we still don't probably realize all the opportunity that lies into the metaverse, right? If we think about like maybe 25 years ago when we had internet and people were starting to create internet website, and some folks were saying, hey, why do you need to have a digital catalog of a physical product catalog, right? We were just seeing maybe 5% or less than 5% of the opportunity.
Mute again.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I think with the metaverse, we still don't realize all the all opportunities. So it's very important for brands to dip their toes, to test and learn, try to think about what are their goals, what are the things that they can do there in the metaverse, right? Do they want to create brand awareness? Do they want to engage differently with customers? Do they want to do new product launches? And think about this. And then just start by creating like a virtual presence there. Create your first digital assets, create some NFTs. It could be like virtual clothes, it could be in-game assets, it could be anything, but just to start playing, realizing what opportunity do you have for new revenue streams. And then a recommendation will be, as Zblocks, we provide a platform for them where they can easily experiment. So they can mint and distribute those NFT at scale in this metaverse. They can use our platform to connect to their existing enterprise systems, right? So my recommendation would be to leverage platforms so that they don't have to reinvent the wheel when going in this in this metaverse, right?
Now seems that Linda is
Yes,
frozen.
Linda is frozen.
But I agree with you, Max. I think that they can start testing these business models and channels because is the way that they can test also the market for them. Also with micro experience in avatars for creating the bots. So this interaction can be very, very useful. And I think that will be completely the future is if the personal advisor, the assets that can be digital or poor, also in physical. So will be a huge market for sure. And it is already, because if you see the money that the game industry is making on digital assets, so is huge. And that will change. Will not be only in the gaming industry, will be also for others.
I mean, like, for our side, like there are many clients, like they wanted to start with the metaverse, with the avatar, but they always thinking about the more cost effective. But the generative AI is the part that we can solve their cost issues because we're not putting more the labor costs, right? And then I was imagining about when we three of us can be combining any, like, let's say H&M, for example, like H&M to make a new collection have to spend huge money to make all the things with asset, and they can make that with your solutions with fashionable, and then they can make two choices, whether special collection only for digital asset, well, the G Plus can support it, and then we can make the metaverse environment with avatar, the shoppers. So in the well, and then the thing is, for example, like existing client of the Microsoft Azure, like our solution, three of us have been deployed already in the Microsoft. We can be expert in consulting them to not make them too afraid to making one metaverse platform with the NFT, with the blockchain, with the fashionable digital asset. It's gonna be really great, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
So the building blocks are there, right? So we're happy to provide the building blocks for them to test and try. Yes.
Linda came back.
Yeah, I am. We have a snowstorm here in Sweden, so I think it was something happening with my internet. So now I don't know really where we are because because I didn't hear you. But I wanted to ask you about good examples. I don't know if you have been there because we were talking about what brands are doing. So, and I know I always get questions from customers. Can you tell us what others are doing and good examples and best practice, and where should we start? So if you haven't covered that, maybe you can do it now.
It's funny because we give an example of how H&M can work between our three.
Perfect.
So that was what we just talk about, but maybe Max, do you want to give some examples on your side?
Yes, a good example, and I'll talk about the phygital experience, right? So the example of a sport retailer. So they are manufacturing shoes for street soccer, and what they're doing here is giving you the ability to scan a QR code when you buy those shoes, those physical shoes, and this QR code is going to give you an NFT, right? And what does this NFT do? This NFT is going to give you an access to the community of people that are crazy and super enthusiastic about that sport. And it gives you access to a metaverse environment where you can mingle and interact with the people that have bought the same shoes, that share the same passion for you. You can meet the world champion of that sport, of the street soccer. You can have access to videos. You can see what are the upcoming products from the brands, get some goodies, and vote for the next products. So that ties back to using the metaverse or digital twin of product to get data from your customers that influence your roadmap. So you're basically creating like a token gated access to various experience only available to the people that bought the product, right? So and this product, this digital twin can also be something that you wear in the metaverse, which is very important for this Gen Z, right? They live in the physical world, they also live in the digital world. So why can't they wear what they bought in the physical world also in the digital world, right? So there's a desire to display and to communicate on what you buy in the physical world also in the social world. So we're seeing a lot of very interesting phygital experience enabled by those NFTs. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I can add what Max said and give my a success case that was 2 weeks ago. We start a collection that was pure AI based. The luxury brand select what were the items that they want to produce. So we create a physical item that had a smart chip where we can scan and have the NFT, as Max say, can download the digital assets, and also create this new world. So we call that collection Futurable. So was very similar of what Max was explaining, and I believe that Michael have also very interesting ones that can be combined of what we're talking about.
Yeah, Michael, you have great examples.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like it's coming soon, and I already have explained that the metaverse is going to be more efficient way for those retailers and the global brand that can have more variety, diverse approach to their the consumers, and especially like already the brand already have their high brand recognitions. They do not necessarily have to spend it more to operate with their offline retail store because nowadays people don't go there much. They have to find out more the other way options. So in that cases, like iCommerce with Avatar, with our metaverse background, and making those collections with fashionable and digitized asset with NFT and all that stuff, we really blessed that we living in the generative AI, and generative AI is getting more hot topic because of GPT-3, because we now experience about AI is really into our life. For example, like Google, even you have to search what is the best restaurant in Germany, Munich, and then I have to give more effort to see the review and all the stuff. But GPT-3 just giving the answer, he doing all the analysis and giving like, Michael, I think this place is going to be right place for you to having the traditional German restaurant, and that's this kind of place. And we now experiencing those kind of things, and I think like those generative AI solutions like can be more supportive to our brand D clients.
And I think also this new wave of metaverse can also be something that the physical stores can embed it on its physical experience. because I believe that can change completely how we see the stores, for instance, where we besides have a personal stylist that comes from DeepBrain, we can also co-create with our generative AI. We create our own copyright in NFT. And it was funny because last month in January at NRF, when we were on the Microsoft store, the McLaren there is a huge push for the person in enter on the store and have a completely new experience. So I think that can be also a very interesting way of the physical stores to start to explore, because can be a very interesting way to engage more with the customer. So that is only my thought on how the physical store can also bring more customers and have more engagement with the customer.
Yeah, and I see that the time is running out, and we have a lot of questions. We will not be able to cover them here, but we will be in the chat after, so we can we can answer the questions. But we had one that is around the safetiness, and I think that is really relevant. So this decentralized metaverse is popular, but how can we keep the metaverse safe today, Max? I think that is a question for you.
I think as with centralized metaverse, there's ways and techniques to do age verification, right? So there's a lot of innovation happening right now on KYC and age verification. So that will ensure that only people of a certain age can access certain metaverses. It's not because it's a decentralized metaverse that there cannot be content moderation. We can think about incentivizing with tokens people to do content modification. So having the participant of that metaverse being incentivized to do the content moderation and then potentially do bad user reporting. So these are also things that that could be potentially done in a decentralized metaverse as well.
Perfect, thank you.
But I agree it's a challenge, right? So,
yeah. I have a question for you, Michael, that I think it's a technical question, but I think I see where they're coming from. And it's regarding if you and your AI avatar can integrate with Microsoft Azure's text-to-speech AI engine.
We have integrated two with the GPT-3. One is the AI studios that anything, let's say, for example, what is about Microsoft? And then that result of the content text go to our AI studios. And then you, automatically can choose all the templates and you just export the video and it's much more easier that can make the video. The second thing is we're going to be launch about 2 3D avatars and that being integrated with GPT-3. So anything what you ask, our avatar is ready to answer. So on the global company side, they can have two options. They can integrate with their own chatbot engine, and then also can integrate with the GPT-3. So our AI avatar getting more smarter to answer all those questions. And the other one is we using our STT engine with Microsoft SST engine as well. It's really powerful. So anything like regarding with Microsoft with solution, our AI avatar is ready to, already have it integrated, all the stuff. So any
of the B2B
clients, any B2B client is already existing with using the Microsoft solutions is easily to integrate with ours with the APIs. And second thing is even those client who doesn't have anything infrastructure, architecture, cloud service, we already having deployed our service in the Microsoft Azure, so we can giving the counseling and consulting how to make more optimizing with low cost to support using those service with the Azure architecture cloud service.
Thank you, Michael. I have such a cool case where I am working with a big retailer that doesn't have, it's expensive to have all the people in a store answering all the questions. So they really want to use the screens for supporting the people in a store. So if we talk about Phygital, this is a good scenario for that. So, ShiSh, I think maybe we are 5 minutes left. I think I will leave it up to you. I think we will end up with what Max was onto before, where when you like gave the tips to all the brands that tip your toes into this technology and start testing to see what value it can bring. And I leave the word for you, ShiSh.
Super, thank you. That was a very interesting conversation. Thank you for leading the conversation, Linda, and also putting in all of the experience and expertise you have. Thank you, Max, Michael, Orlando, for bringing in your perspectives and especially what each of your companies brings in to help retailers and brands take those incremental steps towards the metaverse. For me, it was a very learning experience, really to understand, how do each one of you contribute to that? And that big picture of the metaverse, like we all agreed, is not quite there. But the pieces of it that lead us to where the metaverse will be, everything from, DeepBrain's capabilities of creating digital humans and taking us from the chatbots to humanizing the chatbots and having AI, generative AI behind it. And then Zblock's capabilities of really helping engage customers digitally through NFTs and getting companies into the Web3 world incrementally. And then Orlando and Fashable's capabilities of really bringing in generative AI and digital capabilities to the fashion world. I think all of these are incremental capabilities, and Microsoft for Startups is bringing in a portfolio of startups that brings many such capabilities to retailers. So I'd encourage you to reach out directly to Max, to Michael, to Orlando, to have a one-on-one conversation on how you can collaborate with them, and also reach out to us, Microsoft for Startups, for finding out what are the other startups. So this is going to be part of a series. We're going to bring in other conversations as well, and experts like Linda who will lead the conversation. Linda, this was great. Thank you very much, and thank you everyone, Orlando, Max, and Michael. Thank you for the audience for spending the time with us. Thank you.
Thank you.